Well, 2023, I was consumed with the fact that there was an agreement between North and South that the North should have power for 8 years, the South should have power for 8 years. And I ran under that canopy. And then we produced a Southern president. However that came. In 2027, it is a different ball game because we are now in the half of the match. If you say you want to bring another Southerner who is not Tinubu to come in, the North will say he's going to spend 8 years. And then that will still breach the agreement. And now that Tinubu is incomparably bad, would you say you give him another 4 years? That we will continue to sink, according to World Bank report, into further poverty and misery? Now, if you get a Northerner who will commence a rule in the middle of the game, would you say that if he spends 8 years, it has not become injustice? It will. Now, if you are in a coalition democratically, how do you choose somebody that will be acceptable by all his colleagues? These are very tough issues. And what I have decided is that, look, there is 4 more years that is remaining. Because we may not be able to choose anybody by selection and make the person to have the buy-in of all the other contestants, let there be an open primary election between North and South in a coalition. Whoever wins should agree to do 4 years to compensate for the injustice that will be meted out to any section. If another Southerner who is not Tinubu wins, he must say that he will do 4 more years to complete Tinubu's regime. If a Northerner wins, then let him do 4 years so that it will return back to the South. Because that is the only way that we may be able to stop this government that has become incurably bad. According to John Locke, when a government becomes destructive of the fundamental human rights of the people, they have the right in a social contract to alter the government, to change it or abolish it altogether. This government needs to be changed, and you have to give in something in order to get something. So basically, that is the only justice of the situation that I have seen. Where did I learn this from? I learned it from Tinubu himself. In 2015, Tinubu sided with the Northerners against Ruben Abati's principle. And the South, they were pleading, let them complete their term. But Tinubu, out of self-preservation, out of the below-come philosophy, he said no. He aligned with the North and chose one of his own to be the vice president. He preferred the power going back to the North rather than remaining in the South, so that it will pave way for him in the next 8 years to become president. And that is why he's president today, because of that strategy. So in between the game, and when the incumbent is found wanting, the only way to move forward is by this method that I have enunciated.
Yeah, I like how shy. They always believe in the when a movie they out anyway. But I just don't understand, man. Don't understand. Just articulating nonsense as well as I'm like, I don't even know, like you're just noise. It make no sense. But I guess that's that's what it pays being paid to do, just to come and just talk rubbish. You learn from Tinubu. You be Tinubu. You have half of the weight. One, I don't know. And you say Tinubu to put a vice president. Like everything, just makes sense. Like I don't even know how to actually it's brain damaging. I don't even know how to reason out. I can't even reason with him. We agree turn by turn. Not have done 8 years. and now we voted for the SARS to do it, yes. And so far, it's not doing well, we should alter it. You dey mad? How well did the Buhari perform in the first 4 years that you now complete 8 years? That's even by the case. So, but he now said, we have an open primary. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, open primary where? That the north, anybody with the north and south, we have an open primary. Like, where? Like, anybody where we go against, like, like, I listened to this guy sober. I got pissed. I think make I listen to them high. God damn, it's even worse. Like, it's not even making any sense. Like, who raised you? Like, how did I like not even oh just now wow. What the fuck is this guy working for? I think that I mean it's I think that Tinubu in the work for. 'Cause that's the only way whatever nonsense that he's talking about makes sense. It's not working for Tinubu then. If the followers are in trouble. Like make I go, or let me even play the whole fucking interview. It's annoying from the get go.
The recent wave of defections to the ruling of Progressives Congress (APC) has been grabbing the headlines for days. Last week, the defection of key stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Delta State to the APC drew harsh criticism from concerned Nigerians, who slammed the idea of a one-party state while some praised the move. In Kano, the APC also received defectors from the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. The high-profile decampees include Senator Abdulrahman Sumaila, who represents Kano South Senatorial District, and Kabiru Rurum, the member representing Rano Kibiya Bunkure Federal Constituency. Reacting to the current defections, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, BOT, of the main opposition People's Democratic Party, Senator Adolphus Wabara, has declared that the All Progressives Congress will soon implode as a result of the defection of PDP members who will displace loyal APC members who labored to build the ruling party. Joining us to discuss the recent wave of defections to the APC from opposition parties is Kenneth Okonkwo, a lawyer.
Now, the implication of all this defection, especially that of data, is far reaching. People never understand. A lot of people put eye on Tinubu, say Tinubu is going to rig the election. That means money go day. They think, no. You have to look at Delta State as a whole. The calm money way go come out from that place. So Tinubu need to move an inch to cover the whole South. Now the agent wey go use their money level ground be this. And wetin people know they understand, especially the obedience movement, when I dey talk say it's too late to even dey think about 2027, is because people believe, just like my guy Mark. Okay, Mark, they don't come. Mark, I just didn't see your message. Just like Mark, they put the people into accounts, and I always try to dismiss that. Why I believe the people don't count is that we are not organized. we are not organized in any shape or form. What the implication of that is that, and there's a reason why the major actors don't want to actually play that kind of politics that will revolutionize the whole system. It is because they leave the society to be mobilized. It is very easy to mobilize people. You don't need to mobilize everybody. But again, the implication of that is that the man in power literally have the monopoly of the instrument to mobilize. He has more resources at his disposal to mobilize people within 5 months, 6 months, 2 years, to either use force, use money, act of kindness, whatever, everything is at his disposal. And there are so many ways to do that. That is the danger of monopolizing. And as again, I will use that as an athlete, as an athlete in general. Now, if you are as a Nigerian athlete, either soccer, whatever that you involve, there's a phrase that is common among the Nigerian sport family, right? Impromptu overnight preparation, right? Now, tomorrow night be Olympic, tomorrow now World Championship. Now we go dey sell people, they go camp and all that. Doesn't add up. So when the elite decided to just keep playing aki panky in the die minute, then they begin to hustle everybody. They go begin kill people anyhow. They begin bribe everything because everybody is in fear. That's what I was trying to emphasize. Fear now one of the most lucrative resources out there. Just know, just know how to mobilize that fear. Is it? So when in the act of mobilization, using fear is very, very effective. That's why I go see soldiers everywhere during the election. As in, all these things is all part of the whole mobilizing. Even Lagos State Governor is on Obi neck. It seems all the politicians must speak about it. I don't tell una beef now just because say una know people know they listen to. I don't know. Let me to people that who are loyal to this platform. You guys should be ahead of all this thing now. I've done my best to put you ahead of the curve. I don't talk. I think it's about 2 months now. Say the whole political class will go face Obi. Obi is 2027. Tinubu na smooth ride. Forget all this naga naga where the northern people they do. How do we squash Obi? Not going beyond 2027 is what is at the core of 2027. Before individual, that's why in the morning I talk about the collectiveness of the North, and that's the consensusship, and then the individual race. Obi never see anything. Maybe now wait, you see what Trump went through the last 2 or 4 years. They go carry Obi go close to that. Then from 2027, if Obi momentum is still going, guy, everything will be on the table. When I mean everything, including his life. We never know the times where we're there now. Oh my God. And I like the fact that he's taking his message to the people. Now the people go save him last. Now then go be his defense. Because the political elite who wants to take over from the class of 90, the older guys, they will unite, north, south, front, back, and center against Obi. Because Obi is that's why when I decided I talking about Dr. Damage last week, and Shena Ajide was trying to say he's going to be. I said, leave Obi. Obi is not Obi represents a group of new Nigerians, if for the lack of words, who see who see that the mantle of leadership, the whole architecture of the Nigerian leadership from inception is about to move from one generation to another in an obvious way, pretty much all the sector. So some people it's an opportunity. Again, that's the another way the Fulani hegemony, you have to give them their dues. They understand the time frame. They are pushing. So this 2023 election are semi-final to 2031. And I put it again. No matter who win this 2027 election, I'm using that for those who they believe say this another person that will win other than Tinubu. No, they will still disagree with the results. It will be an avenue for various political group and entity agenda, idea, whatever, to take advantage of the law. I don't know what will come out at the end of this decade. He's not backing down. I hope he has the strength and will not to run out. No, 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 no. You don't get yourself. Obey. When I mean say you no get choice, Obi no get choice in the sense that it's not being him in the first place. This is not his ambition, right? But just like presidency at every level is a group of now interest, a project person, right? So at this point, what do you go do again for in life? In life, if he back down, if he back down, that is the end of him. As in, the people go forget I'm sharp. Within the 5 years, is gone. But if he continues, he either become the president or he become a martyr. One of these two will happen to him, and he has seen that. He knows that. So he's not backing out. The question is the interest, the money bags who are behind him. What could make them back down? Obasanjo is at the top of that gang, and Obasanjo is closer to where he's going than he's coming from. So if he's off the, if he come out, if nature take him out, what will happen to the momentum of the money bags? Because interest, but he represents a group of political class that want to take over power too. So, but we are at a crossroad. We'll see. But they go face some. Every bullet, politically speaking, will be directed at Obi this point. So, but as I said, I'm happy that he's taking his pledge to the people. That's why we see Kilonkwe Wumi, this article number one, uh, Venezuela. You see, his job is to attack that angle. Why are you only talking about the poor? Yeah, 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 yeah. Like it's just fucking crazy what money can do. What did they talk? So and on that background, I kind of like suspect this Kilongwe Okonkwo Kenneth. The good thing on his side, he has the international connection in addition to local to raise the no the international connection. All of them get out. See, again, this take us back to our argument, right? Now, the Nigerians, what matters in Nigeria concern is the economy. Is on totally under the control of the outsider. So they all of them are they are on the same. I think that my problem be that with them. That's why I always put them in the same basket. All of them are one. There's no different. They are all competing to see who will serve the master better, right? So all of them. So to say that he has an international connection, yes, right, and that's where Obasanjo to come in. But the question is the local power. That's where Kinonque article I say article. Tinubu has it all wrapped up. You understand? The article has been Tinubu has been oil those local powers for decades, and that's why all he had to do is to go make his case. All of them go make their case for abroad, and the abroad say, okay, whoever they declare as a winner, that's it. We don't want any kata. So they agreed. Hence, you see when they declare Tinubu, everybody just because all I did just pay attention to the quarters where it is again. Everybody just keep quiet. I was like, okay, this is a consensus victory. That's why I tell you that someone I go court. I confident all the power don't align. So Obi. Obi na Obi rely on Obasanjo's control in terms of the local power. I mean, you know, but Obasanjo know his control of power is fading off because he hasn't been able to even none of his boys don't actually even make national. Obi is the most successful political god son that he has so far. Obi is the most successful one, if you ask me, right? Because good luck betray him. Good luck become a political son because he did not go with the policy that the Western power wants, pretty much to keep it simple. So Obi is the most successful one. We see what happened. Maybe they will get to they will take power this time around. So in terms of the outsider, I think both Obi, Tinubu, all to Erufai, they all know they know where the power lies in DC. So they all have their links, right? Now the local power nine be the and if you look, if you pay attention to 2023 well, let's mirror in the royal institution. Those that actually back Obi, they had to go to Bale last night. My own na one of them. Oba former that time. Oba they don't right. Oba we go around the task scatter. He go Abuja, go they fool himself in front of Mr. President. Come Lagos sef. So they felt it. Tinubu na Tinubu no dey play. And the fact that Obasanjo done, especially the North, Obasanjo no get head sway for North again. There's the real people that control the northern power. No, just are not fucking with Obasanjo like that. Obasanjo, now we know just they see the what the damage Obasanjo did or has done or continue to even do to the country. Bakassi now every one of them just can't that just lay that quiet like that and you think people will forgive you. So and as much as Obasanjo now plus for Obi is his backbone, but at the same time there's a baggage that comes with that too. So and that's what they are fighting, which is why he himself they appear for North, right? They dig boreholes, they try to so he's trying to make himself available to see if he can, patch that place where Obasanjo damage. Dirty come from that wing of Obasanjo military gang too, but it's not that. So it's Tinubu, you just can't. Everything about Tinubu. If you understand power, you go fear him. Now, when I mean fear him, because like he's a man that is ready to. He has all the quality of a leader that anybody could bet on. You understand? He's ready to. He believe, and there's nothing like anything you set your mind. I mean, I don't even know how to describe the waiting I see the animosity when you look at it from competition aspect. I see when you if you understand the rivalry between Usain Bolt and the Americans, you understand. When Usain Bolt stand for line, like anybody else will beat him except American. Like it's like he go die than anybody else than America to beat him. Any Nigeria will beat him. Anybody will beat him. Just that now waiting I see that aspect to the like I mean I lie. I don't know. They made the country born instead. That kind of mentality now the guy gets. Come on, what are you talking about? You come this close, you say you want to give in other words, he's ready to compromise. He's ready to give whatever it takes to finish in time. So people like Good Luck, Atedo Peter Assad, and a few others have soft power. Yes, okay. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like the point you made. Soft power, right? Let's analyze this soft power that you put out, right? Good Lord, Jonathan have soft power. Mhm. Okay. What that soft power in the scheme of things as it is now? I don't know. It's what it what nothing. It what nothing, right? Because the same people where they listen to good luck, and literally you don't even need to tell them anything before the same people they follow will be. Now the same people, right? So they are is soft power is around one. Now the same constituencies that. mm, so I don't know. As a ex-president, he should have more power than that. But if he did have, I don't think he would have given up easily for no losing. I mean, when you lose, it's like you're losing a war, man. They'll finish you. They'll make sure everything that makes you is they kill him, and that's what they did. Everybody was running from him. Nobody won't come close to him. So if to say he's even hold the loyalty of the party, if he soft power, if he to get power, say for a party for no PDP is pretty much dead. And so where in power they? Atedo Peter side, it's still the same thing. If Atedo Peter side get so much influence, I don't think if for lost Port Harcourt, when they brag for Charles, say, I am not just from Rivers. My fourth generation behind my great are from Rivers, are from Port Harcourt. So, but still, we can flog you. They can only provide financial support. Yeah, exactly. Now their financial support, Tinubu has monopoly of it. For a lack of war. So he get time. He has access to the treasury. He can mortgage the oil for another million years. Like he has every leverage at his at the just at the dial. The dial of the button, everything we had they come together. That's the baller. If to say una the things just like I'll still continue play the interview. And I didn't say how they take with their good lord. No, these are two different motherfuckers. We are two different animals. That's why I use that using both attitude of competition. These are two different animals. How you go be president? You lose power. You're like, I don't know, man. Trump, when they change that for Trump, you know, see, say the guy he come back stronger because he just couldn't believe. It's like I did everything right. What did I do? But you understand that pretty much the whole world they have to mobilize the whole world against him for them to be able to take him out, which is what they did to Goodluck Jonathan anyway. Mobilize the whole fucking country, eh? Thanks to social media and all that to take the guy out, but they take him out. They take him out like out. It's out. It's gone. So money no be above all my points. Obi has the tools to compete. No. Obi is competition. No be Obi. Obi has it. Obi has it. It's just that. It's just no. No be it's not. It can't just. I don't. Is the leverage against him is more. The leverage against him is more. So if to say if to say because the North, right? See, Tinubu don't carry Obi matter give the North. You understand? So Obi matter now. So when Ahmed brother came out to say you nobody can be president without the North. Even though that is most I don't know ridiculous statement to even brag about as I like yeah. Who can become president without the South? The fact that I say, oh, nobody can become president without the North, like, that's a cliche. It's okay. Nobody can also become president without the South. But that's not what he meant. He's speaking directly to the obese. How do you convince the North to be on your side when I don't know. It never so is everything Obi now is Obi can't do it. Let's just face the facts. Let's just face the facts. Sharply, Tinubu Obi cannot win the whole South. He can't do it. There's a sitting president from the South. Like, everything is against him for 2027. 2031. Then I will say the presidency is for him to lose. But 2027, haba, it's a very smooth. They've done this now. It's gone. 2027 is gone. Or 2031. But they have to fight as their life depends on it. That's why 2027 is important. It's the semi-final. And it's very narrow. You have to finish among the first two. Finish among the first two means that you either be second or third, because Tinubu is not coming by 2031. But going to 2031, Obi has to finish among the first two. He has to finish at that second or third. And that can only be achieved in two ways. Even if he finished third, he maintained more than 6 million, he's still a runner-up. If he finish a second position and has less than 6 million, he's still a runner-up. But to attain these two, knowing that the whole North, they have one agenda going to 2031, make sure Obi did not obey President mission, is killed, is dead in 2027, which is make sure he get less than 6 million and make sure he never finish among the first three. That is the goal of the North. Not be Tinubu. When I just say Tinubu, na be their goal. You guys are missing the whole Nigeria as we have it. Anyway, let's listen to these guys where they pay. They don't pay
A
me.
spokesperson for the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election. Welcome to the morning show, Kenneth Okonkwo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. It's my pleasure being here. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. And our young Nigerian wife, Imba. It's my pleasure being here with you.
Thank you. You're getting younger by the day, actually.
Young lady. She's a young lady, according to Chief Body Judge.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, my brother. Now, first, let's start with some clarification. You were very active in the Labour Party. You were there in the court, all the way to the Supreme Court, defending.
Now, just listen to the question. It was very clear and straightforward.
Mr. Peter Obi
Just listen.
the Labour Party, but you switched. In some of your recent comments, you have been saying, well, nobody can remove President Tinubu except they have a coalition. Sometimes I was confused. I thought, okay, maybe Kenneth Okonkwo is now in the APC. Let us clarify where you belong to right now. Are you in the APC? We know you have left Labour Party, or you are on your way to the APC, which seems to be the trend, because you have said no single candidate can remove President Tinubu. So my assumption is that very soon we hear that you are also firmly in the APC. This is the season of defections. What do you think about this current up and down in Nigerian politics?
Well, first and foremost, I do not join a party, or let me say, I do not leave a party because of another party. So I leave a party because of the party itself. And when I want to join another party, it's because of that party, not because I'm looking for anything. when I resigned from APC and made it clear that I cannot follow a president who is insensitive to our spirit of diversity. He chose a fellow Muslim to give us same faith ticket. Has that changed? I made it clear that Nigeria being a diverse nation, anybody that will not respect our religious diversity will not respect our ethnic diversity. Have I not been proved right? If APC wants me to join APC, these are my conditions. They promised Nigeria that 1 naira should be $1. Have they done that? When they do it, let them come calling, and I will consider them. Nigeria is a diverse nation where the presidency is an association between the president and the vice. And the Nigerian constitution is very clear that every association must cut across religious and ethnic barriers. So any president that is choosing a man of same faith ticket and then choosing only the people from his own people or the people he perceives are his own people to be in governance is a president that unapologetically behaves in a very unconstitutional manner. He has no respect for rule of law. And Aristotle made it clear that rule of law will always be preferable to rule of an individual. Appetite for material things and other self-centered desires perverts holders of office. Apart from sapping our energy, draining our life and enthusiasm, there is nothing else that this government has achieved for Nigeria. And then contemplating that me that entered politics for the welfare of the people shall join an APC that is insensitive to the people's welfare, that has punished Nigerians with hunger and hardship. The World Bank report now said that Nigeria will sink further into poverty till 2027. That in Tinubu's regime, there is no hope for recovery from poverty. And they gave their reasons. Structural economic weaknesses, dependence on oil revenue, national fragility, in other words, national conflicts. Look at what's happening in Plateau State. More than 100 persons have died, massacred by unknown people. And the president was in Paris and could not even cut his travel short to commiserate with people from Plateau State. Look at what's happening in Rivers State. A president declared martial law and removed constitutionally elected representatives of the people. And look at what's happening in Benue State. People dying. All the things this president has given Nigeria is tears and blood. And you want to say Kenneth Okonkwo will contemplate going into such an association? I tell you what Dove said man said. He said toxic leaders are energy vampires, draining life and enthusiasm out of the people they lead. You want my life and enthusiasm to be drained? No. I reject APC as presently constituted, as a party that does not live up to its promise, as a party that has inflicted Nigeria with hunger and hardship, as a party that does not recognize our diversity, as a party that has given us nothing except tears and blood. A land that God created to flow with oil, with wealth, with gold, is now flowing with tears and blood. Count me out of that unholy association. For now.
Hey, God, we are in trouble. Mark, see the people who won't win election for you. Like, who this guy they work for? Because I don't understand, man. They just ask you simple fucking direct question. You begin going to marketing, begin market APC and Tinubu. That's all you did. Simple question. You want join APC because it's in vogue, or you are sticking with your Labour Party? What's your take. It's very simple and direct, but my fucking guy. Riankanta Mamban Proshotika Santantarabobo Shita.
I'm a member
Like,
of the
waiting. Oh, na just that this just to you say fuck. Nothing. You not talk anything. Question you no answer.
The coalition.
Esi.
Oh, okay.
And we are moving in that direction to solidify the unity amongst all the opposition forces to take out this government that, according to Senator Ndume, is a government of kakistocrats and kleptocrats, the government of worst of us, and the government of desperate thieves. According to Aristotle, he said when man is separated from law and justice, he becomes the worst of animals. And Plato made it clear that man separated from law is the most savage beast. We have been reintroduced to the state of nature by this
God,
government. We are life, according to Thomas Hobbes,
people
has
now they
become
behind this
solitary,
guy.
nasty, brutish, poor, and of course short.
Okay,
That is what
sir.
we're suffering in this country.
Okay. We
And
appreciate, I love the philosophy and almost spoken word that you're giving us this morning. Very, very inspirational indeed. I love
Not spoken words. God damn. Waiting. I this guy know they work for Obi. I just refuse to believe. I refuse to believe. God damn. Waiting. One of my teacher of those days go say buru buru say if you be also some man, you understand what I mean. Buru buru. Like, what the fuck, man? Eh, Mark. See people wey go win an election. Eh? Mark. I say when I want to win election. Like, so he's working for a coalition. The only coalition that is going on is under SDP. And the number one goal of the SDP is to destroy will be political presidential ambition, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, yeah, but this being finished, was
I
it
love
not
that you've
spoken
mentioned this
words?
coalition because what I wanted to ask you initially is that the writing on the wall
Even about himself, weak. About his tire, say, come. But then, say, the question where I ask myself, I don't forget. Like, God.
seems to
Wow.
appear that there is a north and south divide. And it's seeming like this grand coalition that is being marketed for the moment, the body language reads towards the north. So, are you saying that you're behind a potential movement that will push forward a northern candidate if that's what it will take to defeat the incumbent?
Who be this babe said? I love this babe. Oh, come. Look, what a brilliant fucking question she just asked. Who is she?
well, 2023, I was consumed
I hope we get an answer.
with the fact that there was an agreement between North and South that the North should have power for 8 years, the South should have power for 8 years. And I ran under that
You're right.
canopy. And then we produced a Southern
Mm-hmm.
president. However, that came. In
Okay.
2027, it is a different ball game because we are now in the half
Why?
of the match. If you say you want to
Okay.
bring another Southerner who is not Tinubu to come in, the North will say he's going to spend 8 years. And then
Now, you see where this guy, wherever how much they pay him, he kind of worth it. Eh? It's a good communicator, even though na nonsense in the talk, but you just can't help to give her your attention. See, the way in they answer this question is very smart about it. He said there was an agreement. So he is a part of that agreement because he participated, ran on that canopy to use his words. And they did 8 years. Now, he said, we produce a southern president, however that happens, which is Tinubu. But 2027 is a different ball game. And he followed by saying we are the halfway mark. Now the question is, when the North had their own, they know there was no halfway mark, or their halfway mark, or the first 4 years was so excellent, better than what Trump is doing in 3 months, that he had to deserve another 4 years unquestionable. Right? So he left
will still
that part
breach
out.
the
He
agreement.
continues.
And now that Tinubu is incomparably bad, would you say you give him another 4 years that we will continue?
You know, sir. You see why I like these people. Like, I like their pattern. When a winning strategy should never be changed. Because people fall for this fucking nonsense rhetoric every fucking day. Now, the same story, you just have different actors, discrete people that is playing out the script, right? Tinubu is incomparable bad. That was pretty much the language they use in describing Buhari administration in comparison with that of Goodluck after they destroyed Goodluck, saying that be the worst thing that could ever happen. So it's the same script they just they carry give them. Made them
To
the
sink according to
made them
World Bank
the
report.
made them the rotate them. Made them the rotate them. Different actors. So to like the Gen Zs, right? The majority of the young Obi followers, Kenneth Okonkwo is a new guy, is a new actor. So everything that he's saying, it will appear as if it's new, nice, fresh, nice perspective. It's just coming out. Not the same thing. The same thing. But in all this, just to deceive the people that will fall for all this nonsense, right? Now look at this next. Listen to the next point he's about to make.
Into further poverty and misery. Now, if you get a northerner who will commence a route
If that's what it will take.
between north and south, that the north should have power for 8 years, the south should have power for 8 years, and I ran under that canopy, and then we produced a southern president. However that came. In 2027, it is a different ball game because we are now in the half of the match. If you say you want to bring another southerner who is not Tinubu to come in, the North will say he's going to spend 8 years. And then that will still breach the agreement. And now that Tinubu is incomparably bad, would you say you give him another 4 years that we will continue to sink, according to World Bank report, into further poverty and misery? Now, if you get a northerner who will commence a rule in the middle of the game, would you say that if he spends 8 years, it has not become injustice? It will. Now, if you are in a coalition democratically, how do you choose somebody that will be acceptable by all his colleagues? This
Guy is literally said, Atiku is my candidate. That's exactly what he just said. If you bring another southerner, that southerner will say he wants to do 8 years. Or are you going to continue with this Tinubu for another 4 years? No. You bring a northerner that is accepted by his colleagues. There's no other person out there that is living larger than life already than Atiku. Hey, you look where Aisha be her name, abi. My sister from Kano and Edo will say of a vekuve.
are very tough
These are the now this kind of response will make you say of a vekuve. What the fuck? Oh my god. Make I replay that part again. Make it no be
by
say at the
selection,
year double.
and make between north and south. that the North should have power for 8 years, the South should have power for 8 years. And I ran under that canopy. And then we produced a Southern president. However that came. In 2027, it is a different ball
Say we
game
produce.
because we are now in the half of the match. If you say you want to bring another Southerner who is not Tinubu to come in, the North will say he's going to spend 8 years.
See? You see it? If you say you are going to bring another Southerner that will come in, the North will say he will do 8 years. This doesn't sound like somebody who is on Obi's side. Because he's the only another Southerner who is close. I don't know. Am I hearing different, ladies and gentlemen?
And then that will still
Anyway,
breach the agreement. And now that Tinubu is incomparably bad, would you say you give him another 4 years? That we will
see, grammar is very important in this. Now that Tinubu is incomparable bad, will you say you will give him another chance? I will see obedient content creator are going crazy with this one. They will run away with that. But I don't know. This is directly say fuck Obi and his
continue to
presidential ambition.
sink,
That's
according
what
to
he's saying
World
here.
Bank report, into further poverty and misery?
Now, on the issue of the World Bank reports, there's a saying out there which Ali Baba reiterated it when in the last interview, that if you're in a room of politicians, they talk about who they want before, and you know the person, you know see the person, that means that you are the one, right? The same World Bank that gave Tinubu 1 billion just a couple of days ago. I know they talk about one wrong give before, but just a couple of days ago. Now then she bring out nonsense. Say the God. Now, when I did talk, I think it was my yesterday program. I said about how USID
Now,
and they work. They will sponsor two people, one against and one for, just to keep the the man they put in power in check. And that's exactly what you are saying here. They will just, that's going to be the biggest conversation now. Especially all those chihuahuas, really, we go collect 6 months to 3 months to 2 years Harvard course. Come they sit down for arise and channels. You talk nonsense. Scott Bassent, the secretary of Scott Bassent, I've been a Bassent, the secretary of Treasury. So this do not top admission. You don't jai world, both World Bank, UN, don't give them lead as they come, make their head straight. Can we not dominate our headline to actually say, okay, how do we take advantage of the new thing that's come? No, you will see all those chihuahua will go Harvard and London business, consider for arise, they speak grammar, begin devour these fucking IAM things with them bring come. So
if
the
you
same
get a
people that give Bola Tinubu money to the flex, and then they tell you say the man is not doing well. See how then they fool
northerner
people
who will
is well.
commence a rule in the middle of the game, would you say that if he spends 8 years, it has not become injustice? It will. Now, if you are in a coalition democratically, how do you choose somebody that will be acceptable by all his colleagues?
Okay,
These are very tough issues.
this
And
is
what I
the
have
most foolish one.
decided is that,
Mm.
look, there is 4 more years that is remaining.
I like the fact that he said what I have decided, so it's okay. And you know go hold
Because
it
we may
against
not
you.
be able to choose anybody by selection and make the person to have the buy-in of all the other contestants, let there be an open primary election between North and South in a coalition. Whoever wins should agree to do 4 years to compensate for the injustice that will be meted out to any section. If another Southerner who is not Tinubu wins, he must say that he will do 4 more years to complete Tinubu's regime. If a northerner wins, then let him do 4 years so that it will return back to the south. Because that is the only way that we may be able to stop this government that has become incurable.
Now, let's dissect that, slowly. He's making a point, even though it sounds very stupid. Stupid in the sense that when you say open primarily between the north and south, that sounds very stupid. I mean, it doesn't even make sense, right? But not when you bring in the correlation. And I think this is where Obi, I don't know where Obi go for this trap too. Hear me out. Now, an open primaries is going to be what the coalition will put on the table. You know, say APC definitely na consensus. Tinubu go, nobody go follow and drag the ticket. PDP, maybe they will do there's a consensus, there's an open primary, and there's a Shana closed primary, and maybe the other name, but something that has to do with just few delegates, right? Maybe now waiting PDP go do with that. So SDP they will now use that as a point of say, okay, we are in a better position, we are more democratic, that we are opening up to every Nigerian to come out and vote, for the primaries. Now, this is where I am not sold yet. Now, since it's going to be a coalition, I should not write Obi movement out because I think they will make it difficult for him to control Labour Party. By so doing, because I see an headline, I don't know about an headline, I've been one of those their content creator talk and say they are ready, the obedience are ready to go move with Obi to any political party. I saw something like that. Now, if that is the case, so the movement will now migrate to the new coalition with the belief that they have the numbers enough to produce Obi as the open primary ticket, open primary that way as Kenneth Okonkwo is putting it. But I will beg to differ if that is the case because yes, if Obi decide to go, if Obi and Obi then decide to go without coalition, and there's going to be an open primary to which him is contesting, Atiku is contesting, Atiku is going to win. Like hands down is going to win, and that is the end of Obi presidential ambition. Now, before he go say he won't come back, come for join another party, it will be too late. I think that's where what this man is saying. Other than that, the whole thing don't make sense to me. Because open primary, north and south. Anybody will win for south. you go again. So if they do that and Kilunkwe and Atiku will win, of course he's going to lose the election, we all know. But Obi will run under the same ticket, believing that he will do for it, then Obi will step into the issue because that's how they will play the music. That's how they will play the music. No, maybe not my supplier, they make me a reason like this, but I refuse to believe.
Bad.
Make a
According to
contract
John
there.
Locke, when a government becomes destructive of the fundamental human rights of the people, they have the right.
Because let me
Now,
even play it
if
back.
you get a
Because
northerner who will commence a rule in the middle of the game, would you say that if he spends 8 years, it has not become injustice? It will. Now, if you are in a coalition democratically, how do you choose somebody that will be acceptable by
a
all
coalition.
his colleagues? These are very tough issues. And what I
Open
have
primary.
decided is that,
It's not tough, it's
look,
open
there is
primary.
4 more years that is remaining. Because we may not be able to choose
Yes.
anybody by selection and make the person
Okay,
to
you see it?
have the buy-in of all
Good.
the other contestants, let there be an open primary election
Right.
between North and South in a coalition. Whoever
Exactly.
wins should agree to do 4
You're making
years
sense.
to compensate for.
Yep. You all hear what I'm hearing? This is where yeah, I go look for that airline. If I see her, if not real headline, I'll talk about it that later or tomorrow. that says obedience are ready to move to any party that Obi is heading. Isn't this
For the injustice that will be
you?
meted out
I
to
hope I'm
any
wrong.
section. If another Southerner who is not Tinubu wins, he must say that he will do 4 more years to complete Tinubu's regime. If a Northerner wins,
Mhm.
then let him
Yeah.
do 4 years so that it will return back to the South. Because that is the only way that we may be able to
Oh,
stop this government that has become incurably bad. According to John Locke, when a government becomes
brilliant nonsense.
destructive of the fundamental human rights of the people, they have the right in a social contract to alter the government, to change it or abolish it altogether. This government needs to be changed, and you have to give in something in order to get something. So basically, that is the only justice of the situation that I have seen. Where did I learn this from? I learned
So he said that you have to give in something to get something. So be giving your presidential bishop fall into Atiku's scams under the new coalition of SDP, and that's what Nigeria wants. Beautiful story, eh? That's
I
beautiful
learned it
nonsense.
from Tinubu himself. In 2015, Tinubu sided with the
Okay.
Northerners against Ruben
All right.
Abati's principle.
Yes.
And the South, they were pleading, let
Good
them
luck.
complete their term. But Tinubu, out of self-preservation,
Uh-huh.
out of the below-come philosophy, he said
Uh-huh.
no. He aligned with the North and
Uh-huh.
chose one of his own to be the vice
Uh-huh.
president. He preferred the power going back to the
Yeah.
North rather than
Okay.
remaining in the South, so that it will pave way
All
for
right.
him in the next 8 years to become
Okay.
president. And that is why he's
Oh
president
Lord.
today, because of that
Yes.
strategy. So in between the game and
This is a beautiful story. Just come out. Replay. Boy, so because Tinubu betrayed South South and ally with the North and take good luck out, Obi now we ally with Tinubu Atiku. It is not a betrayal to the West, right? Let's betray the West and ally with Atiku, making the president. He promised. He promised to do 4 years and hand over to Obi, his vice. Woo! Isn't that beautiful? Oh God, anybody will go fall for this car nonsense. That person is irredeemable. If they actually decided to say this is how they want to play it out in 2027, oh my God. Obi is still it. They just have to find one way. Anything way make Obi form alliance is going to lose. It is not the right time to form alliance. Go with your obedience and any other party. Go. Don't join force with any of these animals. They go devour you straight up. But this guy is up to something. Is up to something. He's telling us the future story. Pay
when the
attention.
incumbent is found wanting, the only way to move forward is by this method that I have enunciated.
Well, I'm enjoying myself. I mean,
Hmm.
listening to you is like I'm back in one of these classes that I took many years ago, philosophical problems and analysis.
Yeah, they laugh at too. It is they laugh at too. That guy call am poet. Say that they do no be poet. No, what the
Where
fuck?
we
It's
will talk
spoken
about
words.
Plato, Aristotle, Jeremy Bentham, John Locke,
About
and
the
all
people
the
am say na.
philosophers. I'm enjoying myself. But let me ask you a question. This coalition that you say you have joined, do you think that the
Okay.
coalition, as presently proposed, can take Tinubu out of power in 2027? And I ask that because I've read an opinion by Senator Ibrahim Shekarau, former governor, former senator, in which he said, look, the coalition will be making a mistake if the emphasis is on individuals rather than political parties. And that so far, what we're hearing is a meeting of individuals. Nasir Rufai, Atikwa, Peter Obi, going to visit people, going to attend events. And his argument is that, look, this is not about individuals. For you to form a proper coalition, you need to carry the political parties along. Even the Social Democratic Party, is now saying, well, we are not part of this merger. PDP governors have said, no, we are not going to be part of it. So how do you form a coalition? And Mr. Nonuga just issued a statement and said, there's nothing called coalition. The coalition is even dead, before it gains any traction. What do you think of those criticisms?
Well, we are more than 2 years to the next election. Ruben Abati, you will agree, even in Sena climes, we ought not to be talking about election now. We ought to be talking about administration. And administration has to be at least 2 years before you even contemplate talking about strategies for the next election. Unfortunately, the problems of Nigeria have made most politicians to be looking out for the next election, not for the next generation. So 24 hours, they say, is too long in politics, and you're talking about more than 2 years. Obviously, it took many years before even APC had to be coupled together. So what we are saying is that let the dialogue continue. I was privileged to be a spokesperson in 2023 election. We came on board about 3 months to the time. 3 months to the time, and we overwhelmed the whole system. And you're talking about more than 2 years. The people are the residue of power in a democracy. In 24 hours, if they make up their mind on something and they insist on it, that's the end of the whole thing. What is keeping Tinubu in office now? Because for me, he's already out. What is keeping him in office? What is making people to defect to APC is because of their belief that we are not a nation of law and justice, but a nation ruled by an individual. They believe that if Tinubu sanctions you, no matter what the people think, you are already in there. Let's take the case of Delta State. You understand that Ned Nwoko said that his governor is not a performing governor, and that his governor has not seen the light and has been antithetical to the development of his people. And this was the reason he entered APC. Remember that Omo Agege, for instance, has been nourishing the ambition to be the governor of Delta State. And he also is in APC, welcoming people in. Remember that Festus Keyamo has not been a fan to Omo Agege. And you know what? Oborowere himself, fearing that these people will now use that federal might against him, said the best strategy now, because he has not given us any economic, political, or social indices that APC is performing that made him to join APC. He said he is joining APC too. Why? Self-preservation, which is the law of nature in a state of nature. And now, what do you think will happen in Delta State? You want to tell Omo Agege to throw away his gubernatorial ambition? You may have something else coming. It is easier to steal the mace in the National Assembly than for Omo Agege to give up his gubernatorial ambition. And are you telling Senator Ned Nwoko to now go and fall for Oborowere that he has declared persona non grata in Delta State? So APC is already imploding and will continue to implode until they are blown to smithereens. And we are talking 2 years to the election. I've made it clear that everybody joining APC now will regret it. Because how do you think a nation of 200 million persons will tolerate to continue to be in ad infinitum poverty, ad infinitum hunger, and hardship? Power resides with the people. When the people will speak, all these walls will crack. I can tell you,
Barrister,
in Nigeria, especially the opposition parties, have not behaved well. They have not carried themselves well. And when such a thing happens, what you see is that the old will die. It will be buried. And that old will form.
Oh, okay, Barrister Okonkwo.
that will take over this country by the grace of God.
Okay. Now, some might say that our biggest challenge that has brought us to where we are now is the lack of ideology in politics. And what's the root cause of that? The root cause is all of these mergers and coalitions of strange bedfellows that come together for the purposes of being able to take power. So what you're describing with APC sounds like an occupational hazard that will befall whatever coalition you're all putting together. Strange bedfellows, again, coming together strategically to try and take power. It sounds like you're committing the same sin, just from a different ticket. What would you say to
This
that?
babe now, this babe just a put over for his argument.
Well, when APC came together
Like this
to
babe.
form APC, they were the strangest of fellows. People from New PDP, from
That's the
half
point.
portion of APGA, from CPC, from ANPP, and all other ACN. They were the strangest of fellows. But yet, they were able to make the commensurate sacrifice. They were able to know that they have a common enemy in the ruling PDP. And they pocketed their individual preferences and went for the common good of them. Remember, the whole idea of setting up a political party is to protect the interest of your members. They were able to harness themselves very well, organized a primary for their presidential candidates, all of them, in a purported free and fair election. And when somebody emerged, they supported the person and they won the incumbent. So the strangest of fellows can always come together when there is a national crisis as we have now, and they will pocket their individual ambitions for the collective good of the
Barrister
people.
Okonkwo,
You may have seen
Barrister Okonkwo, if I
that
may just interject.
Yes.
So, I mean, I have no doubt that elites are always able to come together to find common ground when it suits their interests. But my question here is really around the people. Can these coalitions, have they really served Nigeria and delivered the dividends of democracy to the people? Another coalition, is it not another recipe for disaster? Another 4 years of infighting, power grabbing, this and so forth. Is that really the answer?
Well,
This
let me
babe
first
just
of
said,
all concede to you has not produced reasonable result for the people. But you see, you cannot give up. You can only learn from your experience. Use your experience in your today's experiment to achieve your expectation tomorrow. We cannot give up. We cannot succumb to the blackmail of tyrants. We cannot succumb to the blackmail of the kakistocrats and the kleptocrats. Because they will blackmail you that the coalition.
question was very simple. The coalition, the people that you are bringing together in the name of coalition, have you people done well by the people? Because that is what the people who are complaining about, that those in government have not done, we cannot relate. The same thing the girl is asking. A common sense question. You guys are busy trying to form a coalition, just like the ruling party is forming a coalition by coercing other people to join their party. And forget the larger majority, which go back to my argument against Mark. Nobody give a fuck about the people. People who care, the leaders who care about the people, don't mobilize them, they organize them. And that takes time. When you are in business of mobilizing, just like Showore is in business of protesting and following trends and just disturbing every Tom, Dick, and Harry with his party, right? So nobody cares about the people. People are not organized in any shape or form. But they will always use them
Coalition
to
in the
make a
past has
point,
not
which is
worked.
what he's
That
doing.
does not mean you will not try again. Continue to try. If you fail 99% of the time, that 1% that you will succeed, you would have learned 99% of how not to fail. We will continue in this country until we get it right. I agree with you, the coalition has not worked in the past. That does not mean the coalition will not work in the present. We will form a coalition because you have to secure the ground first before looking for the mats. You have to get power before thinking about the welfare of the people. So what I have said personally is that I would not be buyable. I will not be purchasable. I will say my mind. Am I perfect? Yet, but it will not be based on lack of integrity. Everything I would do shall proceed from the integrity of my heart and innocence of my hands. When I make mistakes, I will change. You have to be the change that you are looking for in people. I left my comfort zone as an actor, the prime actor for that matter, the foremost actor, looking for the welfare of Nigerians, and I will get it because I'm ready to make the commensurate sacrifice to get there. You may have seen that I am not as interested in political office and in political wealth as I'm interested in Nigerians. And
very quickly.
For people that made me a hero today. And I am living for them and I'm going to serve them. And I will succeed.
Very quickly, as we begin to wrap up now, I'd like to ask you, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, spokesperson for President Tinubu, I said, look, all this coalition politics is dead on arrival. He has also said that, in fact, Nigerians should praise President Tinubu and praise the APC. That the reason everybody is trying to join the APC is because the APC is promoting democracy and serving the people's interests. He also made the point that in any case, politicians we always move from one party to the other, and they have the freedom of thought, speech, assembly, association, as you well know. Do you think that Mr. Ononuga is saying something to people like you who think that the coalition politics ongoing now is working?
Well, I am surprised you're still taking such comments from such people very seriously. A man who called citizens of Nigeria aliens in their own country. A man who Tinubu is even more sincere than. At least Tinubu has acknowledged in some fora that things are difficult and he takes responsibility. But this is a man that pushes responsibility to every other person except this government. The greatest liability of this president is a media aide like Bayo Ononuga. The World Bank report will say something. The inflation will say something. And they will go and rebase. Have you ever seen where they are rebasing inflation? Inflation means the rate of increase in prices of commodities and services over a period of time. And this government, I bought a bag of rice, for instance, in December, 109,000. And in March, I bought it the same price. And this government said they have rebased inflation and reduced inflation from 34% to 24%. I am not aware of any economist that performs like that. I know you rebase GDP when there are some areas you have not captured, which you are recapturing, and then you are rebasing inflation. What a dubious government. And you have a media aide that wants to sell everything, including sand, as rice to Nigerian people. Let me tell you, coalition, and let me agree that you cannot blame the ruling party for any perfidy in the opposition party. It is a legitimate political attack, a legitimate one for that matter, for the ruling party to use every means that is peaceful and not by force to see whether they can bring confusion in the camp of the opposition. Blame the opposition if they cannot gather themselves together. I am a member of the opposition, and I will always tell them, if you do not come together, you will not win a Tinubu. So if they don't come together, don't blame the ruling party. Because most of them are also looking for their stomach infrastructure. I told you that PDP is now a servant of servants. And LP under Abure is a housemate to APC. So you wouldn't blame APC if they use enticement to destroy the opposition. But you will blame APC for not giving Nigerians good governance And because of that, Nigerians will determine who will govern them. Let me tell you, they are relying that they will write results. People going into APC is because they want to come under self-preservation of writing results. That's why I said, if you separate man from law and justice, he will become the most savage of beasts.
Okay,
Without it, Tinubu is already gone.
Okay, thank you very much.
And we will fight, everybody should fight, that the will of Nigeria should be secured when they go to vote in 2027.
Thank
and
you.
Tinubu will be out.
Thank you. But if I may defend the economists, I think many of them are into voodoo, economics. But rebasing is a technical term, like executive orders of Donald Trump, an administrative handmaiden that they use, to promote GDP and work with data and statistics. And this is what the economists do. So, that's what they do with rebasing. It's one of their, tools.
I agree with you. You can rebase a GDP. You cannot rebase inflation because inflation is the rate of increase in price of commodities over a period of time. So you cannot, the price cannot be rising and the inflation figures are falling down. That's voodoo. I don't understand. You can teach me.
Anyway,
Ruben Abati.
Thank you very much.
And Ruben Abati, let me say this. Remember Ruben Abati, there was something you said. You said you like to jollof and you like to pepper soup. When I met you in an occasion and they brought beautiful jollof, I was eating my own fast, saying, this man sitting by my side likes jollof. You finish his own and come on my own. And then you did not even eat at all. That means you rebased it. Whenever you say
Anyway,
it has been implication,
my own
I won't agree with you next
my
time.
own kind of politics, when I'm in a public space, I watch the environment. So it will determine whether I will eat in public or not. But it's okay. That's another subject. Thank you.
The job of Ananuga is to rebase anything. He's doing well. I don't know why we forget the great Lai Mohammed. Those are their job. They are spinners. They are meant to spin shit. I don't understand. But this whole interview, I don't think that is what the heck, man. Somebody they drive over pavement. What's going on there? You okay? What? Man don't know the India or top business. Anyway. Um you're supposed to spin things, right? That's the job of the base jollof rice. Now that we don't hear noise finish. That na performing actor. You don't perform finish. What was listen to another angle of this coalition or opposition?
I think the first thing is to clarify the objective of setting up the coalition is not just to defeat President Tinubu and APC, but to rebuild Nigerian democracy. There is no need belaboring the issue. The point is that Nigerians are disappointed. APC came with a lot of promise, and being a founding member of APC, I can talk about that very authoritatively. We promised Nigerians to end insecurity. We promised Nigerians to end corruption. We promised Nigerians to ensure that at the minimum, our democracy is functional. Unfortunately, here we are today in a situation when people talk about one-party state, I think they are being generous. The truth is that we don't even have a political party. APC itself, I don't regard it, and being there, I can say so authoritatively. Any party whose organ are not meeting is not a political party. And as it is, the first thing, and this is the first disappointment with President Tinubu, I'm one of those who hold him in very high regard. I thought all the mistake of President Buhari, he will be able to correct it. Unfortunately, here we are, he has elevated Buhari to a status of a national hero, largely because he himself almost came with unprepared. He is ruling the country almost impulsively, taking decision without any plan, which is where we have landed in a situation whereby cost of living and income have been eroded, So I think coming back to your question, the whole objective of the coalition, and this is the negotiation going on, to ensure that at the minimum, the mistake of the past are not only corrected, but we don't resume politics almost as business as usual. We must present to Nigerians a functional political party, one that can hold elected representative accountable. This is the negotiation going on, and agreement is almost concluded. In not too distant time, the whole coalition will be unveiled, and how we are going to mobilize Nigerians, how we are going to contest the election in 2027 will also be clarified to Nigerians.
They are in the business of mobilization, so they will come and mobilize Nigeria maybe in the next 6 months or 1 year. This not the same rhetoric, the same thing every year, every year. If you just go back to Buhari time, just to replace Buhari Tinubu name, not the same thing. Go to every the same story, the same script, just different actors. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe.